Forget oil and gold. The most fought-over commodity in history wasn't a resource. It was a completely invisible line that we now call the Prime Meridian. And the fight over where to put it was pure global insanity. Look, your phone is lying to you. Every time you see EST or GMT, you are looking at the scar of a 50-year-long battle between empires and scientists. Here's the thing. For most of human history, time was local. If the sun was directly over your town square, that was high noon. Simple. But that meant the clock in London was 4 minutes different from the clock in Bristol. That was fine when you traveled by horse. Then came the railroads. Suddenly, a 10-mile trip could throw your schedule into chaos. Imagine being a conductor trying to prevent two high-speed trains from colliding. Your schedule says you meet the northbound train at 2 p.m. But is that 2 p.m. your town's time or the town 50 miles away? This wasn't an academic problem. It was a deadly crisis. Train crashes became a daily occurrence across North America and Europe. It cost millions of dollars and hundreds of lives. The whole system was stuck. The railroads needed a unified time, but that meant one powerful group had to give up their clocks and follow another's. The fixation. The only way to fix it was to create standardized time. Instead of hundreds of local times, you'd have a handful of time zones. But to do that, you first had to agree on zero. Where does the whole thing start? This decision seems technical, but it was pure geopolitics. The country that hosted the Prime Meridian, the zero line, would effectively become the center of the world's maps, charts, and trade. It was the ultimate social proof. France wanted it in Paris. The U.S. wanted it somewhere over the Atlantic. But Britain, which owned 75% of the world's shipping and trade, wanted it in Greenwich. In 1884, they held the International Meridian Conference in Washington, D.C. It was meant to be a simple scientific meeting. It turned into a bitter diplomatic brawl. The French delegate openly mocked the British for having the audacity to claim the center of the world. The Americans, trying to play peacemaker, suggested a neutral meridian, a line running right through the middle of the Bering Strait where nobody lived. A truly elegant solution, you'd think. But this wasn't about elegance. It was about empire. Here's the thing, Britain won. It wasn't because their science was better. It was because they held all the cards. Their shipping charts, their naval power, their global reach, it all ran on the Greenwich system already. If you wanted to do business with the largest empire on Earth, you already had to use their time. They essentially held the world's trade hostage. And the French? They didn't surrender easily. They refused to adopt Greenwich Mean Time for 27 years. For decades, the French government simply referred to their own time as Paris Mean Time retarded by 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Imagine the bureaucratic headache. So, they fixed the train crashes, they standardized trade. That's the official history. But the real darker legacy is how this invisible line became the blueprint for modern conflict. Think about India. It shares a time zone with Pakistan, but because of geopolitical tensions, they don't cooperate on logistics. Think about the crazy, jagged borders of time zones across China and Afghanistan. When you look at a time zone map, you're not just seeing a convenient way to schedule your flight. You're seeing the ghost of the British Empire, a scar of a massive diplomatic failure, and a reminder that even the most abstract concepts, like time, can be weaponized. We think of history as being about kings and battles. But sometimes history is just about one crucial invisible line, drawn in a smoke-filled room in Washington, D.C., that still dictates where the sun rises for 8 billion people. If this video made you look at your watch differently, drop a comment. What's the most surprising hidden history you know? And subscribe. We explore the massive stories hiding in the smallest details.